Making headlines tonight, authorities address concerns about recent shooting incidents here in Barbados. Prime Minister Mia Motley has high expectations about the relationship with Rwanda as she embarks on an official visit to the African nation. Plans to plant thousands of trees as part of a national competition. And in sports, England brush aside India to storm into the T20 World Cup final.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good night, I'm Shane Seeley. Thank you for joining us. The Barbados Police Service has described the gun crime situation in the island as unprecedented and has pledged to arrest it. There have been 38 murders for 2022, with 29 being committed with firearms. And during a live briefing this evening at police headquarters, just ending a few moments ago, the Acting Commissioner of Police, Erwin Boyce, reaffirmed the service's resolve to address the crime scourge, while admitting there are areas that need to be strengthened and strategies that require adjusting. Mr. Boyce said they remain confronted by senseless killings and a growing disrespect for law and order. He stresses this behavior is not the Barbadian way and does not represent the majority of Bajans.
We have seen targeted fatal shootings and access to illicit firearms, which in my mind is unprecedented at this time. This is not our culture, this is not our society. And we believe that there are no bad boys out there. We believe that as far as we are concerned, that if you break the law, you face the system. Let me say that the Barbados Police Service will not tolerate any behavior and will bring the strongest arm to end or eliminate the use of firearms and violence in our society. We are purposefully resolved to bring this to an end.
The Acting Commissioner Boyce says the police service will undertake an approach which will ensure there is a zero tolerance to guns and gun-related matters. He's pledged to target the criminal element relentlessly with vigor.
We know that it is certainly not part of us to wake up almost daily and to hear on news items that there was another shooting, or read in a newspaper that there was another shooting in a community. That is not what we are about. That is not what we are accustomed to. It is not part of us to accept that there are gangs, people who have their own way of doing things, and the use of illicit firearms and serious organized crime and controlled drugs have, to some extent, now seem to have taken on a new complexion and has become part of the new culture in Barbados, or the new subculture in Barbados. Let me reiterate that Barbados Police Service will not tolerate any form of this wicked problem, and will use every partnership, every relationship, every collaboration to ensure that our people enjoy their freedom.
The police response comes as passengers on a public service vehicle were left traumatized after a brazen daylight shooting early this morning. The police at the Blackrock police station are still probing the incident, which occurred around 20 minutes to 8 this morning in the area of the traffic lights at Eagle Hall Junction. Police received a report that a man came up behind a minibus on its left side while it was stationary at the traffic lights and discharged a number of shots inside the minibus. One male received an injury to his back and was transported in a private motor car for medical treatment. Police are asking the public if they've witnessed the incident to call the nearest police station. Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Motley is on an official visit to Rwanda at the invitation of the President Paul Kagame. The visit comes just over 6 months after the Rwandan leader visited Barbados. Prime Minister Motley, on her arrival at the official residence of the President of Rwanda, was accorded a guard of honor. The two leaders then engaged in bilateral discussions. Key agreements were inked between Barbados and Rwanda ahead of the visit of Ms. Motley. The Prime Minister says the relationship with Rwanda continues to grow. She says Barbados and Rwanda are two small countries with big visions.
And we have to be in today's world. Our people are going to be only available to access the best as long as we can navigate the very difficult geopolitical and uncertain times in which we live. And that means us being able to find the unique opportunities for partnership and cooperation. This issue of pharmaceutical equity is a game changer for us all. It is a game changer for you in Rwanda, and you have led the way, and we believe that we too can follow in this respect.
Prime Minister Motley says with Rwanda being a hub in East Africa, there are many opportunities ahead.
We have had, regrettably, only the direct passage between Africa and the Caribbean for nefarious purposes in the past. It is now time that we do it for our own honorable purposes and to expand the opportunities for our people. You have an excellent platform here, and you are clearly the hub in East Africa. And with the construction of your airport, I expect that to significantly expand such that the Caribbean and Latin America can benefit with the linkages to Rwanda as we go forward. I hope that even before the airport is completed, however, that we can see that direct air link between our two regions.
And in response, the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, says the relationship between his country and Barbados runs deep. He says Prime Minister Motley's visit and her delegation will add to the already strong partnership in a range of sectors.
What we have said all along and have agreed and are trying to do, we've reached a very important first step. The first step is to have this close relationship, starting with Rwanda and Barbados, and build from there through such a cooperation that we have outlined already, whether it is through pharma manufacturing or building air bridge between Rwanda, Africa, and the Caribbean, and with Barbados. Those are very important steps.
Meanwhile, we hear that Barbados has recognized its travel partners, thanking them for their unwavering support during challenging times. Prime Minister Mia Motley has extended an invitation to them to be a part of the island's future as the destination continues to grow its tourism industry. Ms. Motley says it's recognized that as an aged and mature tourism product, Barbados will have to continue to refresh aspects of their product offering. She made the comments at a recent reception in London, attended by top UK travel trade partners, including airlines, tour operators, travel agents, and the media.
As you heard from our new Minister of Tourism, who may be new as Minister, but certainly not new to the industry, having spent more than 3 decades at the center of leadership of the Elegant Hotel Group, which, as you know, was the largest block of hotel rooms in the country. But as you heard from him, there will be a new Wyndham opening in the winter. And we expect that we will also have new properties developed over the next 2 years that will significantly expand our room stock. That, combined with a renewed thrust for our attractions.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Ian Gooding-Edgell, stressed the partnerships are critical in the tourism industry.
No destination can succeed without the support and contributions of its partners. You've worked with us to ensure that Barbados is not only accessible, but it has remained top of mind and occupies a special place in the hearts and minds of would-be travelers. The government of Barbados is grateful for your continued confidence in this destination, despite the tumultuous 2.5 years the industry has experienced.
Coming up here on Newsnight, we'll tell you about a special project for the deaf community. That story and more when we return. A special project showcasing the talents of the deaf community and raising awareness of the challenges they encounter has been held right here in Barbados. The Deaf Calypso project, involving individuals from Barbados, the United Kingdom and the United States, was streamed around the world last evening. Member of Parliament for the City Corey Lane has described it as a prime example of how to be inclusive.
It brought a sense beyond words and speeches that when we talk about being inclusive, that it is no longer taught. When we talk about being inclusive, it is no longer just an ideal. When we talk about being inclusive, we are talking about a reality, ladies and gentlemen, and the reality is here tonight and what we've witnessed tonight.
The concert saw a number of deaf performances on steel pans, singing, and rappers from the US and England doing a number of renditions. An appeal tonight for more support for disabled entrepreneurs. The call has been made by baker and graphic designer Odella Boxall. She made the plea during an interview with our Rianne Phillips, as we hear in this report.
These stunning kits and posters are just some examples of the talent and abilities of Odella Boxall. But as the baker and self-taught graphic designer explains, being a business owner with a disability is no easy feat. She's been constantly pushing against the tide of negativity to keep her 5-year-old business, Mahogany Treats, afloat.
It's been really hard because I have a disability called joints disease. This is a problem with the joints, which is my legs is really bull, and I've been in a lot of pain. So it's like I can't do a lot of walking and a lot of far walking and stuff like that. Just get up every day with a challenge. And we just want people to see me as equal. We just want people to know that. We just want people to know that it is hard. And we're human just like everybody else. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just want people to understand that we're here and we ain't going nowhere. And when I say we, I mean people with disability, people that have talent. We gonna stay and we gonna show y'all that we're here to stay.
Although Odella tries to maintain a fighting spirit, she's also navigating the challenges of inflation and rising costs of inputs, among other things. However, the 43-year-old is praying and hoping the upcoming Independence and Christmas holidays will be financially rewarding for her business.
I want to bake for Christmas. I could do a lot of baking with plain cakes and chocolate cake. I make a mean banana bread. You know, I do a lot of good stuff, and I would like people to see where I'm coming from and to try me out and see how it is.
Definitely wishing all the best for Odella and her business. Environmental officials are optimistic over 100,000 trees can be planted as Barbadians take part in the 2022 National Tree Planting Competition. The initiative, launched by the Ministry of the Environment and National Beautification, got underway on Monday and runs until November 21st. The first place entrant will receive $15,000, second place $5,000, and third place $3,000. A bonus prize will also be awarded to the participant with the longest and best surviving trees by March 2023. Coordinator of the National Tree Planting Project, Dwayne Phillips, says interested individuals can use the website www.weplanting.org for more information on the competition and to access sign-up forms.
When you go on the menu, you will go to Tree Contest. On the Tree Contest, you will see two options: rules and guidelines and enter competition. Under rules and guidelines, I implore you to read them very carefully. Some rules and guidelines of note will be what can be planted, the spacing, and more importantly, the uploading of photos of the area before and after planting. And no photos from last year's competition will be accepted. That will be an automatic disqualification. And we know because we have those records saved.
Now, the Minister of Environment and National Beautification, Adrian Ford, says the competition is an exciting one and he's encouraging Barbadians, young and old, to participate.
The fact is that there is an invaluable realization to the planting of trees. That is that the harmful carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the gas that seeks to destroy the ozone layer, the layer that protects us from the UV rays of the sun, the one thing is naturally that can save us as a nation, as a people, is the trees as we know it. And I want to say to Barbadians, you must never underestimate the importance of planting those trees. You must never underestimate the importance of ensuring those trees survive the test of times.
Tonight's business report is sponsored by Digicel Business. Better solutions for better businesses.
In business tonight, a call being made for peer reviews in engineering. It has come from the former president of the Barbados Association of Professional Engineers, Andrew Hutchinson. He was delivering the opening address at the 11th Biennial Conference for Professional Engineers, Engineering on the Front Line at the Radisson Aquatica Resort.
Make sure you have peer reviews. If an engineer does a design, certainly in a practice like ours, any design has to be peer reviewed by a senior or by another engineer. Because it's so easy to turn on the program, you plug in your loads and plug in your thing and hit two buttons and you press two buttons and it comes out and you got the answer, you know. But I think that's probably one of the value, that's the great value of my experience to the company, because I can look at it and see things, and see omissions and see errors that the younger engineer using the program may not have spotted.
The top engineering official says greater attention should also be paid to infrastructure, like bridges.
1/7 of Barbados is Scotland district, and you've got clays and muds and shales, and the material, you know, the foundation conditions are quite different to the rest of Barbados, where you would commonly find rock. So that's the first challenge, that you have poor foundation conditions, and you have bridges with small rivers going onto them, which creates erosion, will erode the foundations, and then it's going to fail. So a lot of that relates to maintenance. You know, there's got to be a program of maintenance to keep inspecting the bridges and fixing them. Don't wait till you fall down.
Rwanda's Minister of Infrastructure, Ernest N. Sabimana, says a new air services agreement inked with Barbados takes the country one step further on its journey to become an aviation hub in Africa. Well, the agreement was signed by him and the Barbadian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kerry Simmons.
This means airline from Rwanda or just airline from Barbados, they should operate between two countries. Of course, in the transport of passenger and cargo, as we discussed earlier. And then, of course, this is like promoting the trade between two countries, and then promote the tourism between two countries. It's a very good achievement between two countries.
Time now for the second innings in sports. Mark rejoins us to tell us all that's happening, possibly in Africa.
Indeed, Barbados has weighed in on the idea of Africa setting up a T20 league. It was pushed to the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, by Prime Minister Mia Amor-Montali, this on her official visit to the African country.
We believe that with Rwanda, Kenya, and a few other countries, it is not outside of our capacity. And Ghana as well. Last time I was in Accra, we looked out through the hotel room and we saw men playing cricket. So we really believe that the possibility for an African T20 is within our reach. And I hope that Rwanda can play a great part in that, and Barbados can help Rwanda reach the top of that league as we reached the top of global cricket in the past.
Now, Ms. Motley also sees potential in road tennis growing in Africa.
Road tennis is the perfect game for where there is high population density, because you need a very small space, probably like that beige inlay there. And it allows for excellent exercise, and it allows for persons with minimal outlay in terms of equipment. And it therefore means that the ordinary person who may not have the ability to play lawn tennis or to play sports that require greater outlay of money can literally keep themselves fit with this game, and that is how it was developed in Barbados.
That's our time for this edition of CBC NewsNight. I'm Shane Seeley. Good night.
Thanks for visiting us. To get more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.